Luna had a complete meltdown in the supermarket, screaming, throwing rice on the floor. A stranger asked if I needed help. I assumed she was just being defiant.
90% of toddler tantrums aren't defiance. Her body sends force signals before a meltdown, and you're missing them. There's a 4-letter rule that fixes it.
4 letters? What rule?
It's called HALT. I'll give you exactly how to use it. Coming up. Memorize HALT. Next meltdown, you'll know exactly what to do in seconds. I watched this happen, and I waited, because I already knew what was going on.
You handed her a banana. 1 banana. 20 seconds later, done. She was fine, and I was standing there like, are you kidding me?
She wasn't misbehaving. She was hungry. And when a 2-year-old is hungry, no amount of discipline is going to fix that.
So today, we're talking about something that completely changed how I respond to Luna's meltdowns. It's called the HALT check. And once you know it, you can't unsee it.
HALT stands for hungry, angry, or anxious, lonely, and tired. These are physiological states, meaning the body is telling the brain something is wrong. And most parents don't know that when these states are active, the brain literally cannot cooperate.
Literally? Like something is physically shutting down?
Yes. When blood sugar drops, cortisol spikes. And the prefrontal cortex, the part responsible for reasoning, emotional regulation, and impulse control, goes offline.
And the prefrontal cortex is the part we're always asking kids to use when we say things like calm down or use your words.
Exactly. Now, at age 2, that system is already underdeveloped. It won't be fully mature until the mid-20s. Add hunger on top of that, and you're asking a half-built computer to run complex software on a dying battery.
That's a really good way to put it, because I genuinely thought Luna was choosing to melt down in the middle of the cereal aisle.
She wasn't choosing anything. Her brain had already gone into survival mode. At that point, your stern voice doesn't register as authority. It registers as threat, which makes everything worse.
Okay, so what happens long-term if we keep misreading these situations as defiance? If we keep doing the timeout and the stern voice when really they just needed a snack?
This is the part I really want parents to hear. Children who have their physiological signals repeatedly misread as bad behavior start to internalize a belief about themselves.
What kind of belief?
They don't think, I was hungry. They think, I was wrong. They think, I am difficult. At 2, they don't have the language to understand what happened. They just absorb the emotional message.
And that belief, I'm a difficult child, that sticks?
It can become a core identity, and it is incredibly hard to undo. You'll see it in kids who are constantly apologizing, who shut down when corrected, who believe they're the problem. Often, it started here.
All right, so let's get practical. Method 1, what do we do instead?
Before you react to any meltdown, any big behavior, run the HALT check. Hungry, angry, or anxious. Lonely, tired. Ask yourself, which of these might be active right now?
And how long does that actually take?
30 seconds. That's all. You pause, you run through the 4 states mentally, and you check. Just that pause changes the entire trajectory of the situation.
Because instead of escalating, you're now problem solving. You're looking for the real cause instead of punishing the symptom.
Right. And here's the thing. Sometimes you run HALT and none of those are active, and then you know it's something else. But most of the time, you'll find at least one. Especially with toddlers, especially in the late afternoon.
Method 2.
Build a snack schedule and protect it like an appointment. Toddlers cannot forecast their own hunger. They don't think I'm getting hungry, I should eat soon. By the time they register it, the cortisol is already rising.
So waiting for them to ask is already too late.
Way too late. The window is every 2 to 3 hours. You want to get food in before they hit that wall. We keep snacks in the bag, we set a rough schedule, and when that window hits, we eat. Even if Luna says she's not hungry.
I will admit there have been multiple times I skipped the snack because she said she didn't want it, and then 20 minutes later, full disaster.
2-year-olds are not reliable reporters of their own physiological state. That is our job. We manage the schedule so they don't have to.
And method 3. This one honestly blew my mind when you explained it.
Don't enter high-demand situations when any HALT condition is active. This is about prevention, not reaction.
So the supermarket at 5 p.m. after a missed nap is basically a trap we set for ourselves.
Yes. The supermarket is stimulating, it's long, it involves waiting and walking and not touching things. For a toddler who is tired and possibly hungry, that is an enormous ask.
And when it falls apart, we think it's a parenting failure, but it's actually a scheduling failure.
Completely. If you must go, go right after a meal and a rest, or split the trip, or use delivery. This is not indulgent parenting. This is reading your child's capacity accurately.
Okay, I want to drill the framework before we move on. You said there's a name for it.
HALT. Say it before you react. Hungry, angry or anxious, lonely, tired. 4 words, 30 seconds.
HALT. And I used to hear this word and think it meant stop everything, which, actually, that's basically what it means.
Stop. Check the state, then respond. In that order. Not respond first, then wonder why it got worse.
I want to try the old way versus the HALT way. My old move, Luna, you need to calm down right now.
Which is a sentence asking her to use the exact brain region that is currently offline.
Alt version, when did she last eat? 3.5 hours ago. Okay, snack first, everything else after. And then, nothing to react to.
I want to tell you about a dad who came to me about 8 months ago. He was exhausted. His son was having 2 to 3 major tantrums every single day. He had started wondering if something was neurologically wrong.
That's terrifying as a parent. When you start questioning whether your kid has a condition.
It is, and it's also very common. I asked him one question. What does the meal and snack schedule look like? He paused. There wasn't one. Meals happened when it was convenient.
So the kid was going hours without food, hitting the wall, and the whole thing looked like behavioral issues.
We built a simple snack schedule. Snack at 10, lunch at 12:30, snack at 3, dinner at 6. Within 2 weeks, tantrums dropped by about 80%.
80%. Nothing else changed?
Nothing else changed. Same child, same house, same parents. Just consistent fuel. The brain had what it needed to function, and the behavior changed on its own.
Here's the question I want you to sit with this week.
Think back to your child's last big meltdown. What time was it? When did they last eat? When did they last sleep? You don't need to answer me, but I think you'll find a pattern.
Because if you see the pattern, you can change the schedule. And if you change the schedule, you might not need to manage the meltdown at all.
Your homework this week is simple. For 7 days before you respond to any big behavior, run HALT. Just ask, which of these 4 states might be active right now?
Write it on a sticky note if you have to. Put it somewhere you'll see it. HALT. Before you react, every single time.
And if you want to go further, write down the time of each meltdown for 1 week and when the last meal or nap was. Patterns will show up very quickly.
If this episode helped you see a meltdown differently, subscribe. We put out new episodes every week, and drop a comment below telling us, what was the H in your last HALT moment?
We read every comment, and sometimes the best parenting advice comes from the parents in this community, not from us.
We're Ethan and May, parenting from Bali with a toddler who keeps us very honest. Thanks for being here. Bye.
Go check your snack schedule.